This page is the cover of Dreamcast Fan Magazine, issue number 14 from July 1999. The main headline features Yu Suzuki discussing the new Shenmue. The cover prominently features a large face, likely related to the unique and controversial game Seaman, which is listed at the bottom as a problematic work that you grow to love. Major game previews and features covered include an in-depth look at Soul Calibur, based on a check of its room for completion and porting quality. There are also articles on Martian's successor Nadesico and Flame Glide. Strategy guides are offered for Tokyo Stream Racer and Street Fighter Alpha 3. The magazine presents 4 new stories, including Black/Matrix Ad, with an exploration of its story via a drama CD, and a look at Revive, hinting at the Dreamcast version based on the Naomi arcade release. Virtua Striker DC and Langrisser Millennium are also covered, with developer insights on the latter. Additionally, there's a feature dedicated to improving the online experience, titled Online Life Improvement Project, discussing secrets for enjoying online play, and details on Dream Passport 2. The cover teases Sega's strong summer lineup, mentioning Shenmue again, Climax Landers, known internationally as Time Stalkers, and Let's Make a Pro Baseball Team. This page features a recruitment notice related to the game Let's Make a Pro Baseball Team. The main text translates to Wanted, Baseball Team, President, also Manager. Below that, it lists the conditions. Acquire your favorite pro baseball team, manage 1.6 billion yen in operating funds, and most importantly, become the best in Japan within 10 years. This appears to be a playful advertisement or feature directly tied into the game, challenging players to take on the monumental task of leading a baseball franchise to ultimate victory. It highlights the core premise of the game, which involves managing finances, building a team, and striving for championship success. The image is a simple, impactful graphic, representing the ambitious goals players will pursue in this baseball simulation title. This page provides a detailed look at the game teased on the previous page, Let's Make a Pro Baseball Team, highlighting its core features and gameplay loop. The main goal is to become the manager and team president of a pro baseball team, and lead them to the Japan Series Championship within 10 years. Players begin by selecting an existing professional team, managing funds, and signing players to build their roster, aiming for dramatic team management scenarios. The game incorporates direct involvement during matches, allowing players to make tactical decisions like changing pitchers or using pinch hitters during crucial moments. The game boasts an extensive roster, featuring over 600 real-life players, coaches, and managers, alongside original players to discover. Training is a significant component, with enhanced camp and season training systems offering detailed options for developing players, including stamina and pitching rotation settings. Let's Make a Pro Baseball Team also supports network play, enabling teams to link up for online tournaments where players can compete against thousands of other users. Additionally, the page mentions Let's Play with Pro Baseball Team, a related game scheduled for May release, which can link with Let's Make, allowing players to use their developed teams in action-oriented baseball gameplay. This simulation title is the first in the Tsukuru series for the Dreamcast, and was scheduled for release on August 5th. Priced at 5,800 yen, it clearly focuses on deep management and simulation elements, combined with the potential for direct gameplay interaction through its linked title. This page dives into the Dreamcast port of Street Fighter Alpha 3, highlighting its key new features, especially its online compatibility. The page showcases a progression sequence through humorous illustrations of a player's reactions as they climb the online ranks, starting from excitement and ending in intense focus as they improve. This version boasts an impressive character roster, featuring the largest count in the series up to that point, with over 28 characters, plus 5 hidden ones. Iconic fighters, like Guile and Evil Ryu, are specifically mentioned as being immediately selectable. Beyond the standard arcade experience, the game includes modes like the Tag Team Dramatic Battle Mode and the extensive World Tour Mode, which offers significant depth and character progression. The page emphasizes that this Dreamcast release brings the full arcade experience home, enhanced with these additional modes and the ability to connect and compete online, allowing players to constantly improve and face new challenges. Screenshots show various characters and gameplay scenarios, giving a glimpse of the fast-paced fighting action players can expect. This page continues the focus on the Dreamcast port of Street Fighter Alpha 3, highlighting the transformative impact of its online communication features on the fighting game experience. The main visual is a humorous comic strip, illustrating a player's emotional journey through the online Saikyoryu Dojo mode. We see the player progress from excitedly accessing the game's homepage, achieving early wins and climbing ranks, utilizing online score rankings and bulletin boards, facing tough challenges, gaining confidence, even changing their appearance, acquiring new ism plus customization options, and ultimately experiencing the highs and lows of online competition. The page emphasizes the game's ranked online play with the tagline, "Become a man in 9 weeks," suggesting a dedicated path to improvement through online battles. Below the comic, a large illustration showcases the extensive roster of characters available in the game, reinforcing the variety of fighters players can choose from. The details mention modem compatibility for online play and support for peripherals like arcade sticks and the vibration pack, confirming the game offers a robust arcade-like experience enhanced by online features. This page showcases the off-road racing game, Buggy Heat, for the Dreamcast. The main visual features the game's logo prominently, along with 4 action-packed screenshots depicting various buggies tearing through dynamic environments, including airborne jumps, desert landscapes, and muddy terrain. The page promotes Buggy Heat as the ultimate buggy racing simulator, emphasizing its wild and dynamic off-road action. It highlights a realistic driving simulation, with detailed driver actions, like steering, shifting, braking, and acceleration. A unique feature mentioned is the driver growth function, where the game's AI learns the player's driving style, creating AI opponents or allies based on player data. Internet connectivity is also a key point, allowing players to upload and download AI driver data and participate in online time attack events. Buggy Heat is announced for release on July 8, 1999, priced at 5,800 yen. It supports 1 player and is compatible with the modem, racing controller, and vibration pack, suggesting a robust simulation experience. There's also a promotional campaign offering original goods to winners. A small section at the bottom promotes Aero Dancing, another game that is already released and highly rated. This page is the table of contents for the July 30, 1999 issue, prominently featuring the unique creature from Seaman on the cover. It lays out the magazine's content, starting with frontline reports on eagerly awaited games like Black Matrix Ad, Revival, Virtua Striker 2 DC, and Langrisser Millennium. There's a special summer collection highlighting titles such as Soul Calibur, Martian Successor Nadesico, The Mission, and Framegride. The Sega Next Stage section previews Climax Landers, Shenmue Chapter 1, Yokosuka, and Let's Make a Professional Baseball Team. Strategy guides cover popular titles, including Street Fighter Alpha 3, Tokyo, Stream Racer, and Buggy Heat. The magazine also dedicates a section to network features, aiming to improve readers' online experiences, and includes various serialized articles, reader submissions, rankings, and a special feature on digital horse racing. This page presents a frontline report on the eagerly awaited title, Black Matrix Advanced. The article focuses on the significant changes made to the characters and system as part of a full remake for the Dreamcast. It confirms the addition of new elements in the DC version, checked directly from the room, and details how features like branching story paths and new maps are being introduced to enhance gameplay further. Screenshots are included to showcase the game's strategic battles and character dialogue, illustrating the revamped visual and gameplay experience. This report highlights the improvements players can expect from this updated release. This page continues the deep dive into Black Matrix A/D for the Dreamcast, presenting an exclusive look at the character Zero. Featured prominently with large demonic wings, he's described as an outlaw living life on his own terms, with the intriguing question posed, is he an enemy or an ally? The article confirms this is an exclusive reveal of the DC version. Screenshots showcase the game's improved visuals and highlight key changes, including the addition of more dialogue scenes between characters to enhance immersion, as well as new visual elements integrated into the gameplay. Commentary notes, Zero's character has a West Side Story-like atmosphere, and hints at a connection to a character named Rose, whose fate is currently unknown, leaving his alignment uncertain. This page dives into the Dreamcast version of the simulation game, Happy Miniature Garden Life with My Master, specifically focusing on the changes introduced in Chapter 1. The article highlights how the DC port significantly alters the environment and layout compared to previous versions. Players control the protagonist, Abel, in a mini-adventure segment where actions consume AP and trigger events and minigames. The control scheme is also explained, detailing how different buttons are used for interactions, like using items or checking locations. 2 characters are featured. Domina, who appears as a nurse and interacts with Abel, described as having a cheerful and caring personality. The page notes her role has changed from potentially being the master to a nurse character. Also featured is Michelle, shown in pajamas with a teddy bear, described as someone Abel meets unexpectedly, possibly at her house, adding a touch of mystery. The game also includes renewed minigames for the DC version, with 4 types mentioned: log splitting, cooking, fishing, and apple picking. Screenshots showcase the visuals for some of these minigames, which award players with items upon completion. The content suggests the DEC version aims to provide a fresh experience with updated graphics and gameplay elements. This page explores gameplay mechanics and characters for Black Matrix Advanced on Dreamcast, linked to a miniature garden concept. Players search locations using AP, triggering events in minigames, with improved environment detail. An affection system influences events based on player actions towards the master. Eating items affects stats. Featured characters include Krage, appearing in battle and possessing a mysterious identity, and Prilica, a popular design. Prilica's interactions require focused pursuit. The Dreamcast version aims for an eternally happy miniature garden life, offering more freedom than the Saturn release. The player can explore outside the garden and choose to remain in it, presenting a non-linear ending. Screenshots showcase the interface, searching, dialogue, and garden scenes. This page dives into the enhanced simulation battle system and introduces key characters in Black Matrix Advanced. The core battle mechanics have been rebuilt, featuring a revamped command layout and system that significantly increases the strategic depth and overall combat enjoyment compared to the Saturn release. All battle maps are completely new, and the underlying algorithms have been changed, meaning old strategies won't guarantee victory. Screenshots show the isometric battlefield view and character portraits during combat interactions. Featured characters include Gaius, a wealthy man joining the quest, who is known as the Gaius of the Cornered Sage, and Reprobos, a mercenary who calls himself Freedom and was resurrected after being killed. Praha, a prominent female character, is also introduced, highlighted as being active in battles and not just for show. The main narrative thread sees Abel embarking on a journey with companions to rescue the Master, whose happy life was destroyed. Chapter 2 details Abel's arrival in Golgotha's prison, where he meets Reprobos, Gaius, and Priest Yobel, leading to an escape attempt where they first encounter Praha. Chapter 3 covers the group's journey to the Street of Bones, where they seek power, meet the twin devils Ribera and Bel, and gain allies Lulabil and Uriel, while pursuing the seals of the great gods. Screenshots accompany these chapter summaries, showing various battle locations. This page delves further into the mechanics of Black Matrix Advanced, highlighting key differences and improvements from previous versions. A significant addition is the biorhythm system, which affects magic effectiveness based on an on-screen clock. This adds a dynamic layer to combat, as the power of spells will fluctuate, sometimes significantly increasing damage and other times decreasing it, forcing players to time their magic use strategically. Another crucial change is the new ability to replenish BP, or bloody points, which are required to cast magic. Unlike the Saturn version where BP was difficult to restore, the DC version allows for replenishment, enabling much more frequent magic usage and shifting battle tactics. The page also introduces the character Yofane, depicted as a high priest who resurrected after researching the great gods. He is shown working with Abel, seeking power, and displaying different sides depending on the situation, suggesting a complex role in the narrative. Finally, there's a fan corner section called B/Mad Fan Club, tentative, showcasing fan art and contributions related to the game, with the first feature being a special on a character named Kalera, or similar. This page features a report on anticipated upcoming games, specifically focusing on the Dreamcast title, Revive Resurrection. The article explores the characters' personalities and the world setting through the game's scenario. Highlighting the game, which was scheduled for release in late October for the Dreamcast, the page includes a large illustration of one of the female characters. The core content is a direct interview with the scenario writer, Hirotaka Inakaba, who handled both the main game and the accompanying CD drama scenarios. The interview delves deep into the inner aspects and motivations of the main characters. Inaba discusses how the personalities of the game's 6 main characters are reflected in their actions within the narrative, as well as exploring the hidden, less obvious sides of these characters. The focus is on understanding their behavior patterns based on their unique traits, providing insight into the dramatic adventure awaiting players. This page continues the report on the Dreamcast game Revive Resurrection, Delving into the game's narrative setup, it introduces the player to the game's prologue, starting with the seemingly peaceful high school life of the protagonist and his friends. This tranquility is shattered by the sudden disappearance of one of their group, a character named Chiharu. The story quickly transitions into the protagonist's desperate search for Chiharu, which leads them down a dangerous path. Information surfaces suggesting Chiharu might be connected to a mysterious research facility. The core of the early game involves the player attempting to infiltrate this facility to find their friend. The page features screenshots illustrating these different stages of the story, from classroom scenes to darker, more industrial environments within the facility. There is also a section discussing the game's presentation, specifically the inclusion of numerous event CG illustrations to enhance the player's emotional connection to the story and characters, reflecting the scenario writer's intention to add visual depth to key moments. A large character illustration is also featured prominently on the right side of the page. This page dives into the gameplay systems of Revive Resurrection and features a special interview. It explains how players navigate the game world, detailing a movement system between rooms that allows for switching between different viewpoints, offering varying perspectives of the environment. The page also highlights the importance of time within the game, showcasing an in-game clock that displays the current time, and a countdown for specific time-limited events. Failure to complete objectives before the time runs out results in a game over, adding urgency to the player's actions. Interaction with the environment is done via a free cursor, allowing players to examine objects and areas of interest. This cursor is also used to utilize items from the inventory on specific interactive points in the world, essential for solving puzzles or progressing. Finally, there's a special interview with Tomoya Asano, the scenario writer for a CD drama based on Revive. This CD drama, released prior to the game, expands upon the characters and their backgrounds, showing aspects not seen in the main story. Asano discusses how the drama ties into the game's narrative, providing deeper context for the characters and their connections, touching on stories set in high school, at the sea, and other locations. This page showcases new visuals for Revive Resurrection, focusing on revealed event CGS and the game's conversation screens. You get to see dramatic scenes like a character draped elegantly in a pink dress and a solitary figure silhouetted against a moonlit sky on a deck, which really set the mood. The page also provides a look at the game's interface during dialogue sections, featuring character portraits like Masumi's, showing how characters will interact. The accompanying text discusses how these visuals enhance the narrative and atmospheric presentation of the game. Continuing the theme from the previous page, the article touches upon how the character development explored in the Revive CD drama ties into these in-game visuals and story elements, giving players a deeper understanding of the characters. The page finishes with another compelling character illustration, suggesting the game's strong visual style. This page gives us a first look at the latest arcade entry in Sega's long-running football series, Virtua Striker 2ver 2000. This version marks a significant leap, being the first in the series to utilize the powerful Sega Naomi arcade board. The article highlights that this specific iteration, packed with new features and gameplay elements, will form the foundation for the highly anticipated Dreamcast port. The visuals showcase the game's detailed player models and on-pitch action, promising an arcade-perfect translation for home console players. It's clear this version is bringing substantial upgrades, building upon the arcade success of the series and setting the stage for its Dreamcast debut. This page confirms the much-anticipated Dreamcast port of Virtua Striker 2ver 2000 is officially underway. Following its debut on the powerful Naomi arcade board, this page highlights that the home console version will be a faithful and high-quality port, leveraging the Dreamcast's similar architecture. The article showcases the game's detailed visuals and fast-paced gameplay, promising an arcade-perfect experience at home. Excitingly, the game expands its roster, allowing players to select from a total of 32 national teams, including 5 newly added nations. Furthermore, 3 new strategic formations have been implemented, adding more tactical depth to matches. The screenshots demonstrate the vibrant on-pitch action and menu screens, confirming that the Dreamcast version is shaping up to be a robust simulation of the beautiful game. This page features an interview with development director Toshi Mifune from Sega's R&D department, discussing the evolution of the Virtua Striker series. The interview title asks if the series will continue to evolve, setting the stage for a discussion about the latest iteration, Virtua Striker 2ver 2000. Mifune, described as a dedicated soccer fan, delves into the development of the game, particularly its transition from the Naomi arcade board to the Dreamcast. He likely discusses the challenges and successes of bringing the arcade experience home, emphasizing the technical aspects and gameplay refinements. The interview probably touches upon the expanded team roster and strategic options introduced in this version, explaining how these features enhance the simulation depth and player experience. Screenshots accompany the text, showing the dynamic on-pitch action and player models in Virtua Striker 2 Ver 2000, visually supporting the discussion about the game's quality and evolution. The overall tone suggests a focus on delivering a high-fidelity soccer game that builds upon the series' arcade roots while leveraging the Dreamcast's capabilities. This page features a report on the highly anticipated title, Langrisser Millennium. It includes an interview with Santa Entertainment, the developers responsible for planning and production. The main headline declares, "Can't wait until release," and introduces the creator of the new Lang, discussing the world of Millennium. The core focus is on how Langrisser Millennium is a significant departure from previous entries in the series, referred to here as Lang. The interview probes the reasons for these specification changes. Nobumichi Ikoma from Santa Entertainment, pictured on the page, likely elaborates on their vision for the game. A key theme seems to be the effort to make characters feel more alive and impactful within the new system. The text touches upon how the combat and character presentation have evolved, aiming for a different player experience. The article includes screenshots showing the game's visuals, including battle scenes and tactical views, giving a glimpse into this new direction for the tactical RPG series. The overall message suggests that players should approach Langrisser Millennium with a fresh perspective, as the developers are deliberately moving away from past conventions. This page continues the deep dive into Langrisser Millennium, with the developers discussing the sheer scale and technical ambition behind the game. The big headline reveals an impressive roster of around 250 characters appearing in the game, highlighting the significant effort put into populating this new world. The interview emphasizes that players should pay close attention to the sub-characters, as they've been designed with a relatively high appearance rate and receive significant attention in their depiction. The team explains that they've pushed the hardware to its limits, crafting incredibly detailed character models. They've refined character designs to the point where any further complexity would overwhelm the processing power. The discussion touches upon the flow of the game, including opening and ending sequences, event scenes, and real-time elements, all featuring these detailed characters. Keiko Sato, pictured here, likely an artist, discusses the effort behind character expressions, while Kazuki Yuzawa, the director also shown, talks about his role at Santa Entertainment and his previous work on titles like the Oni series, framing Langrisser Millennium as a major new project. They confirm that, unlike some past tactical games, combat deaths for player characters aren't a focus, allowing the story to develop with the full cast. The page underscores the developers' commitment to bringing the large cast to life through detailed visuals and presentation. This page dives deeper into the world of Langrisser Millennium, focusing on the key players and gameplay mechanics. The main headline introduces the 7 leaders clashing over continental supremacy, highlighting the central figures in the story. An illustration shows these 7 characters, named Tashi, Saluien, Nei, Lumiathi, Masahira, Rosa, and Mons, suggesting a conflict driven by multiple powerful factions. The page then hones in on 2 significant characters, Garson and Rosa, describing them as main character counterparts who provide a strong presence supporting the protagonist. Screenshots feature Garson in battle, giving a glimpse of the game's tactical combat. Gameplay elements are also discussed under the headline, "Leveling up one person and gathering personnel is important." This section explains that character progression involves leveling up and hints at a class change system. Recruiting allies is also emphasized as a vital part of building your forces, reinforcing the tactical RPG nature of the game. Another screenshot shows a character named Tule in a battle scene, likely one of the recruitable allies. Finally, there's a brief message directed towards the users, likely encouraging them to look forward to the game. Overall, the page outlines the main cast, highlights key supporting characters, and touches upon the core gameplay loop of character development and party building in Langrisser Millennium. This page shifts focus to the highly anticipated Dreamcast title, Soul Calibur, reported to be just 1 month away from release. The magazine staff have gotten their hands on the latest room to thoroughly check out the game's features. The report highlights the 7 modes prepared, stating you can play plenty from practice to group battles. The modes currently confirmed are Arcade, VS Battle, Time Attack, Survival, Practice, and Options. A DC Original mode is also mentioned, slated for a future introduction. Screenshots show the main menu listing Team Battle, time attack, and survival modes. The article also covers the common options function for all modes. These options allow players to customize settings such as time limits, round counts, and button configurations. These settings can be accessed from the title screen, or even during character selection, in versus or team battle modes. A command list can also be brought up during matches by pressing the Start button. Screenshots display the options menus, showing various settings like difficulty, round count, time limit, and control configuration. Visuals on the page include stunning artwork of a character, likely Kilik or similar, the iconic Soul Calibur logo, and several game screenshots. One prominent screenshot shows a versus battle between Sophicia and Nightmare, demonstrating the game's impressive graphics and character models. Another screenshot shows gameplay from a different perspective. The page emphasizes the depth and variety offered by the different game modes and customizable options. Soul Calibur on Dreamcast offers a variety of game modes beyond standard fighting. Arcade mode pits you against 8 calm opponents, with continues and character selection. VS Battle allows for 1P vs 2P or calm matches, customizable with rounds and time limits. Team Battle supports up to 8 vs 8 players/calm, where defeated characters are out for the round, emphasizing team strategy. Survival mode challenges players to defeat as many opponents as possible with limited health recovery. Time attack mode focuses on speed, recording the fastest clear time. Practice mode allows for training against stationary or controlled opponents with adjustable settings. The game's versatility is further emphasized through screenshots of the different modes and options. This page delves deeper into Soul Calibur, focusing on the graphical fidelity and character details. The article highlights that the game utilizes a significant portion of the Dreamcast's room, allowing for impressive visuals and detailed stages. It particularly calls out the vibrant stage backgrounds and the use of full polygonal models, even pointing out minor details like mice running across the ground. The piece then examines the default roster of 10 characters, showcasing their unique movements and graphical effects through various screenshots. Characters like Kilik, Xianghua, and Maxi are specifically mentioned, with commentary on their smooth animations and realistic body movements that make combat feel incredibly fluid. A special editorial section features 3 editors discussing their experience playing Soul Calibur extensively for a week. They share anecdotes about juggling work and personal lives while being engrossed in the game, praising its addictive gameplay, and how they learned to balance the game with their responsibilities. Another section focuses on the character animations, excitedly stating how crazy and smooth the motions are. Using Nightmare as an example, they emphasize the impressive detail in the character's movements, noting that even the standard operational motions are well executed, making the gameplay feel incredibly responsive and engaging. Overall, the page emphasizes Soul Calibur's technical prowess, stunning visuals, and the highly positive impression it left on the editors. This page continues the deep dive into Soul Calibur, focusing on specific characters and the game's impressive graphics. It highlights the dark side characters, Nightmare, Ivy, and Astaroth, discussing their powerful presence and visual design, noting the detail and effects like Nightmare's flames and Astaroth's body. The article then covers returning characters from the original Soul Edge, specifically Mitsurugi, Sophitia, Taki, and Voldo. It praises their faithful transition to Soul Calibur, with particular attention given to Sophicia's detailed model and the natural look of her hair and clothing. Voldo's unique appearance is also remarked upon. Screenshots showcase various characters performing moves, emphasizing the dynamic combat. An editorial section expresses enthusiasm for the character designs, particularly highlighting the appeal of the female characters like Sophicia and Taki. The editors mention the detailed models and the variety offered by the 2P color options, finding the characters appealing down to small details. Finally, a section discusses the graphics in detail, expressing amazement at the visual quality. It notes that the Dreamcast version utilizes a significant portion of the console's storage capacity to deliver stunning visuals that surpass even the arcade version, making it a truly impressive achievement and a major leap forward in graphical fidelity. This page dives into Martian successor Nadesico, the mission for the Dreamcast. The main visual features the character Eureka Misumaru alongside mechs from the series. The primary focus is an introduction to the game, specifically looking at how gameplay changes based on the option settings before starting the mission. It highlights the Captain mode and difficulty options. In Captain mode, battles can be automated, with strategy chosen during the briefing phase, determining CPU actions. Adjusting the difficulty, particularly setting it to easy, significantly increases experience gain and IFS, imaginary field system, accumulation, making battles much more manageable. Screenshots illustrate these option menus and battle scenarios. The article emphasizes checking these options as they significantly alter the gameplay experience, allowing players to either take direct control or rely on strategic planning through automated battles. There's also a section announcing the game's impending release on August 26th, listing the price and genre. Simulation Ad V. A smaller section in the bottom corner teases a Summer's Top Pick collection. This page provides a detailed breakdown of the system in Martian Successor Nadesico. The mission, following the introduction from the previous page. It focuses on the player's role as the newly appointed captain of the Nadesico B. Screenshots show key characters like Akito and Ruri, along with dialogue and mission results. The game registers the player as the captain, replacing the previous captain, and the ship's computer, Omokaikane, evaluates the player's performance based on their decisions throughout the game. The core gameplay is a turn-based simulation battle system. Movement uses the phase transition engine, requiring careful management of energy consumption. Players can choose between attacking or defending actions, utilizing abilities like Gravity Blast and Distortion Field. Keeping track of unit and crew status is crucial via the information screen. There's also a wait command which allows units to charge their phase transition engine for more powerful actions later. The article emphasizes understanding these mechanics for success in battle. This page dives into the player's first taste of real combat in Martian Successor Nadesico, the mission, thrusting them into a major crisis right after taking command. The title emphasizes the shock of a sudden enemy attack during this initial, actual battle. The article covers aspects like building trust with the crew and confronting mysterious unmanned enemy units that necessitate a counterattack. It shows the game's operational map, detailing movement into combat zones, and includes screenshots depicting mission briefings and outcomes like return success. Key crew members are also featured with their portraits and roles. Chief Navigator Hoshino Ruri, Estivalis pilot Subaru Ryoko, and Adjutant Takasugi Subarota, highlighting the team the player will lead in battle. This page continues the exploration of Martian Successor Nadesico. The mission, focusing on the player's challenging role as the new captain, and the crucial dynamics of combat and crew interaction. It highlights the significant mission presented by Vice Admiral Koichiro Misumaru, and the unexpected attack on Nadesico B. The article details how success in battle relies heavily on cooperation with the crew. This includes executing powerful conditional special attacks by combining crew abilities and utilizing the Nadesico's systems like the distortion field. It also addresses what happens when operations don't go as planned, allowing the player to adjust strategies. The mysterious antagonists, led by Yoshimasa Nagumo, are introduced, adding a narrative layer to the conflict. Post-battle, debriefings are essential for gathering information and planning the next move, with key crew members like Akito Tenkawa participating. The page also delves into game mechanics, explaining the crew compatibility value, which influences communication in special events, and the IFS, image feedback system, detailing how pilot condition affects their performance and interaction with the ship's systems, featuring pilots like Akito, Ryoko, and Gei alongside their Estivalis units. This page shifts focus to the upcoming release of Frame Gride, an all-direction mech battle game. The article highlights the core elements that drive the game's progression: battle, assembly, and part creation. The main part of the game is the battle action itself. Success in combat depends heavily on assembling your machine effectively and creating the right parts. The game's action unfolds in a 3D space. Regarding machine design, players have extensive control. The fundamental aspect is selecting one of three basic frames: light, medium, or heavy weight, which determines the machine's overall direction. Beyond the frame, players can freely combine various parts for each section of the mech, focusing not just on specs but also on appearance. However, adapting parts to match the characteristics of the chosen frame is crucial as the game progresses. Different frame classes naturally affect fundamental mobility and attack power. The page also touches upon part creation, stating that players can craft parts they don't possess using material found in the game's interface, which expands the range of available options. Furthermore, players can customize their mech's color patterns, offering significant freedom in personalizing their machine's look for online matches. Screenshots show the mech customization screen, in-game battles, and examples of different frame types with their stats visible. This page continues discussing the mechanics of Frame Gride after assembling your mech. Battles feature various styles, including intense death matches, where players fight until only one remains. Defeating enemies earns you material, which is key to crafting new parts you don't yet own. Combining two materials can yield different results, and there's a chance to create rare parts through synthesis, adding depth to customization and progression. The page also includes a special report on the online battle experience. The reviewer praises the responsiveness of the controls during online play and notes the usefulness of the chat feature for communicating with opponents after a match. Overall, the online experience is described as excellent. There's also information about a special network service from KDD, offering discounted rates for Frame Gride's online mode across Japan. Finally, there's a small section detailing a giveaway for the game. This page introduces Climax Landers, a dungeon exploration RPG that features characters from various previous Climax games. It details the core systems of the game, focusing on the dungeon, battle, and peace/town elements. The article explains that Climax Landers utilizes an automatic dungeon generation system, meaning each exploration will present a different layout. It's crucial to understand the basic mechanics before diving in. Before entering a dungeon, players need to prepare by selecting their items and choosing companion monsters, as there are limits to what can be brought in. The page also breaks down the character stats, explaining HP hit points, MP magic points, VIT vitality, and stamina, which affects character performance. Resting at the designated base location is the way to fully recover stats and prepare for the next adventure. Screenshots showcase the character status screen and the preparation menu. This gives a solid overview of the fundamental aspects of the game's exploration and character management. Climax Landers features two character progression systems, level and title. Leveling up increases base parameters and allows allocation of bonus points to stats like strength and intelligence, customizable via a dedicated menu. Titles, earned through continuous dungeon exploration, unlock new magic spells and skills, offering an alternative growth path to leveling. The game also includes a floor exploration end setup window for party management. Players can further customize their characters by managing skills, sealing or unsealing abilities, and swapping companion monsters. The text also emphasizes the importance of item, magic, and skill mastery in combat, providing advice on effective usage and displaying an equipment/skill menu for reference. This page dives deep into the combat system of Time Stalkers, detailing the strategic command-based battles. Combat is essential for character growth and gaining experience from monsters. The system emphasizes party formation and position, as enemies can surround your party. The page explains the core battle commands: attacking Elec, using magic learned through titles; guarding Elec, capturing monsters, using a specific skill; moving within a sector, and using items. A key element is the attackable range and party formation. The battle area is divided into sectors, and party members are arranged in front and back rows. Attack range depends on skills and position, as illustrated by a diagram showing different ranges, 1, 2, or 3 sectors, required for various attacks. A significant part of the game involves capturing monsters to have them join your party as partners. This requires using the capture skill and succeeding in a minigame. Partner monsters have their own stats and affinities, influencing their compatibility with the player. You can manage recruited monsters at a monster house, and even release or exchange them. Overall, the combat in Time Stalkers is a blend of traditional RPG commands, tactical positioning, and unique monster recruitment mechanics. Time Stalkers features a town, peace, offering essential services like shops, inns, and churches for adventure preparation. The Monster House is central to the monster capture system, allowing you to register, train, and engage with your recruited monsters in minigames, impacting combat. Neumann's House lets you revisit cleared dungeons for grinding and item collection, boosting replayability. Additionally, the game boasts 11 downloadable VMU minigames, providing rewards like items and tokens. These minigames range from RPGs to life simulations, offering diverse experiences to enhance gameplay and provide resources. This page delves into the highly anticipated game, Shenmue, with a large central artwork featuring the game's title. The article appears to be an in-depth look, possibly a Q&A or interview, addressing player questions and clarifying the game's complex systems. It discusses the magic weather system, explaining how dynamic weather influences the game world. A significant point covered is the story structure, confirming that despite player actions, the narrative ultimately converges to a single ending. The different combat systems, QuickTime events, QTE battle, and free battle, are also explained, along with the intended use of the VMU referenced from a spring demo. Furthermore, the article touches upon the advanced face system, the technology behind the game's detailed character models. A small screenshot shows an environmental scene, and a distant figure image is also present. The game information box notes the release date is still to be determined. Overall, this page serves to clarify and build anticipation for Shenmue by explaining its unique and innovative gameplay mechanics. This page reports on an event where Yu Suzuki, the creator of Shenmue, spoke about the challenges and goals of creating the game's highly detailed, high-polygon characters. He discussed the level of detail aimed for, down to individual strands of hair, and mentioned the game's dynamic weather system, referred to as magic weather, which affects the world by simulating rain or snow. Suzuki also clarified the game's internal clock, stating that 1 hour in Shenmue corresponds to about 3 minutes in the real world. Images showcase the detailed character models of Ryo Hazuki and Shenhua, along with a screenshot showing dynamic weather. Below this, the page details several summer promotional campaigns for Shenmue. This includes showing a Shenmue advertisement before screenings of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace in Subway cinemas. Another promotion involves distributing a demo version of Shenmue at Tsutaya video rental stores. Finally, a Shenmue-themed stamp rally was held across various subway stations, offering promotional goods like themed ballpoint pens as prizes. Images support these sections by showing character models and some promotional items. This page dives into the world of baseball management, with Sega's Pro Yaku team, Wo Tsukuru, for the Dreamcast. This isn't about playing the games yourself, but rather stepping into the shoes of a team president, tasked with turning a struggling franchise into the best in Japan over a 10-year period. You start with limited funds for both operations and initial team building. The article walks you through the crucial early stages, selecting your base team and home field, then assembling your first roster under budget constraints. It mentions the option to find hidden gems among recommended unknown players. Following team formation, you enter the off-season where you manage the fan club and prepare for spring training camp. This is where you focus on player development, utilizing training menus to improve stats, teach new techniques, or even switch player positions. The game also features a detailed player creation mode, allowing you to craft custom players. Screenshots throughout the page illustrate the various management interfaces, player statistics, and the charming chibi-style mascot character that guides you. It looks like a deep simulation, focused on the strategic side of baseball. Pro Yaku team Wo Tsukuru offers a deep dive into baseball team management, spanning the entire season and off-season. From March, players manage both on-field strategy and the business aspects of the team. This includes in-game decisions, resource management, and reacting to unexpected events. The game emphasizes business, allowing for investment in stadium upgrades and fan services to increase revenue. Player acquisition is a year-round process, involving scouting, the draft, free agency, and trades. Player development is also critical, with training options throughout the season, especially during camps. The off-season, from November to December, is crucial for evaluating the team, negotiating contracts, drafting new talent, and preparing for the next season. Screenshots illustrate various management interfaces. The article provides tips and strategic examples, highlighting the game's comprehensive and strategic baseball management experience. This page features an advertisement for the Dreamcast game, World Neverland Plus. The image prominently displays a stylized girl character standing on a globe representing a fantasy world, surrounded by small character sprites engaged in various activities. A speech bubble near the girl contains the text, "Recently? Where?" Vertical text on the right reads, "That was a card mail from the girl who moved here," suggesting a story element related to communication. Vertical text on the left highlights the game's communication features, stating, "Use communication to enjoy your carefree World Neverland Plus." The text box provides details about the game, describing it as a real-time life simulation in a fantasy world, World Neverland, now enhanced with communication features for the Dreamcast. Players can enjoy a free life, exchange card mail and characters with friends, share information about the kingdom, and experience even greater freedom in their gameplay. The game encourages players to live another life alongside their friends. The advertisement also includes the game's logo, the release date of July 15th, and the standard price of 5,800 yen. The developer and publisher, Riverhill Soft, and the Dreamcast logo are also present. This page features a submission postcard or form for a magazine. It provides spaces for readers to fill in their personal details, including address, name, pen name, phone number, and age. The form is intended for submitting content such as illustrations or text. Readers are instructed to select the specific section or corner their submission is for, including options like the serialized corner, game score chart, or Dreamers Club, and mark their choice. The postcard includes the magazine's postal code and address in Tokyo for submissions. A note explains that any type of content is acceptable and reminds submitters to clearly indicate the intended section. Using the submission postcard is noted as making the address writing process simpler. This page is largely blank and white, featuring only the page number 44 in the bottom right corner. This page features the Dreamers Club section, opening with a header indicating this might be the final, bi-weekly run of the Drafura segment. The free section appears to be a personal commentary from a staff member, discussing recent life changes including moving, setting up a new PC with a monitor and keyboard, getting an ISDN internet connection, and even mentioning the purchase of a specific game, Golden Land Wolmuck G3. It reads like a candid update on their personal and technical life. Below that is the Reader's Anecdote Corner, where readers share various personal stories, including experiences, failures, shocking events, and humorous tales about friends and acquaintances. An illustration of a character with cat ears or headphones is featured alongside this section. Finally, the bottom section is Manga de Go, a collection of short manga strips. These panels showcase different characters in various scenarios, suggesting a series of comedic or slice-of-life vignettes submitted or created for the magazine. The page is filled with these different forms of content, combining personal updates, reader interaction, and lighthearted comics. This page features several sections dedicated to fan art and reader opinions. The top section, the Dreamcast Art Gallery, showcases impressive fan illustrations. Featured prominently is Yori Yagami from the King of Fighters series, with commentary noting the strength of his presence. Another piece features Xianghua from Soul Calibur, praised for her graceful pose and the atmospheric depiction of falling snow. Other artwork includes characters from Soul Calibur again, noted for their cool look, and artwork based on Virtua Fighter, capturing dynamic poses. And to the right is this month's First Timers, introducing new contributors or artists. Artwork here includes various characters, seemingly from different series, with brief introductions or comments about them. The lower half of the page houses the Drafura Opinion Survey Team section. This installment focuses on readers' favorite characters from Sega Saturn and Dreamcast games. The survey questions cover various aspects, including characters they like, reasons for their preference, and specific details about the characters. Readers express their love for characters from games like Sakura Wars, Soul Calibur, Xianghua is mentioned again, highlighting her popularity, Virtua Fighter, and others. They discuss character designs, personalities, and fighting styles. The section summarizes the reader responses, giving a snapshot of popular characters and fan sentiment during this period. This page features a reader feedback section titled Dreamers Network, alongside the Saturn Gallery showcasing fan art. The Dreamers Network delves into reader opinions, including a discussion on the utility of strategy guides versus figuring things out independently or asking friends. Readers also share their thoughts on the magazine itself and the previous page's Leaders Q&A section. There's even a practical diagram demonstrating how to organize strategy guides effectively. The Saturn Gallery is dedicated to reader-submitted artwork inspired by Sega Saturn titles. Featured illustrations include characters from various games, such as what appears to be Nana from Grandia, and another potentially influenced by Dungeons & Dragons aesthetics. The descriptions accompanying the art often tie back into the reader comments, mentioning topics like enjoying communication within the gaming community and referencing sections from the magazine. The art covers a range of styles, capturing characters with dynamic poses and expressive features, reflecting the passion readers have for their favorite Saturn games. This page is the We Are Supporters section, where readers share their passion for favorite game titles and characters through illustrations and text. The top section, titled Light and Darkness Synchronicity, is dedicated to the Shining Force 2i series. Readers have submitted art featuring characters like Synbios, Medion, and others from the game's different scenarios, expressing their deep connection to the story and its heroes. One comment touches on the experience of playing through Shining Force 2 is Scenario 1, and the strong impressions left by the characters and narrative. Below this, the Imperial Theater Imperial Guard section showcases fan art for the beloved Sakura Wars series. Readers have drawn characters from the Imperial Opera Troupe, highlighting their admiration and affection for the iconic cast. The accompanying text reflects their enjoyment of the series and its memorable characters. The final section, Master's Little House, features a collection of reader illustrations for various games. This includes art for Black/Matrix and other titles, with readers sharing short comments about their connection to the characters and the games themselves, celebrating their personal favorites. This page features reader contributions and feedback, starting with the Dragon Force Friends Association. Here, fans of the classic strategy RPG Dragon Force share their thoughts and artwork. One comment expresses enjoyment for the game's character design, even if it's a bit dated now, and mentions playing the Saturn version. The page includes vibrant fan illustrations featuring characters like Wayne, showing the enduring love for this Sega Saturn title. Below that is the Voices of Porting/Sequel Hope section, where readers discuss games they wish would come to the Dreamcast, or receive sequels. One reader specifically mentions their hope for a Dreamcast version of the visual novel to heart, citing the beautiful artwork from the original PlayStation version. Another expresses a strong desire for a sequel or port of the simulation RPG series Growlancer. The "You Can Get These" section details a giveaway for readers. Prizes include items like illustrations from artists featured in the magazine. The section lists different prizes and the number of winners for each. Finally, the Submission Time section provides guidelines for readers submitting artwork and comments to the magazine. It explains how to send in illustrations, specifying the format and information required, such as the game title and character names depicted. It also gives the submission address, and notes that submissions may be edited.
This section is essentially a guide for contributing to the reader pages.
This page dives into new information about Sengoku Turb, a title from NEC Home Electronics that was previously teased. Presented as a fan segment, it highlights various aspects of the game to look forward to, even though the development status is still uncertain as of July 3rd. The article breaks down how players can enjoy Sengoku Turb. You can experience the proper game with its mix of action, shooting, and racing genres. There's also enjoyment to be found simply by watching the cool battle scenes and visuals. The music is highlighted, with special mention of a track called Tapu Pun Pun. The game also integrates with the visual memory unit and offers online features like minigames and player interaction, allowing you to enjoy connecting. Beyond the game itself, the page teases bonus content packed into magazines, including original illustrations and articles related to Turb. Intriguingly, there's a call for reader submissions for a contest where fan-created content, like website suggestions or even fake game tips, could potentially appear within the game world itself. Screenshots on the page show a character illustration, a battle scene, an online menu screen, an illustration of two small creature characters, and even a sample of user-submitted content integrated into the game. It seems Sengoku Turb is aiming to be a highly interactive experience, both in-game and with its fanbase. This page dives into the world of Seventh Cross, a unique Dreamcast title focused on creating and battling monsters using the Fighting Integration Disc, or F.D system. The game's producer, Mr. Fukugawa, discusses his vision, explaining that Seventh Cross allows players to raise creatures they've created through the F.ID system, emphasizing that it's not just about simple growth, but the satisfaction of raising something unique. The article highlights the game's battle system and the depth offered by the F.ID, which influences creature stats like speed, defense, attack, and intelligence, leading to countless unique combinations. It touches on recent DC, Dreamcast, special battles held, showing a results table which summarizes the outcomes of these creature versus creature matches, demonstrating the strategic depth the system allows. Furthermore, the page announces how players can obtain the F.ID disc, explaining it's part of a major present campaign. To celebrate the game and its fans, 100 people will have the chance to receive the F.ID disc, allowing them to dive deep into creating their own creatures for Seventh Cross. It seems the excitement around this game is the ability to literally bring your own unique fighter into the world and battle it out. This page delves into the development and reception of Godzilla Generation on the Dreamcast. The article features insights from the creators, discussing how they specifically designed the game to utilize the Dreamcast's power and satisfy fans by focusing on features unique to the platform. They aimed to create a game that felt right for Godzilla, while giving players the satisfaction of controlling the king of the monsters. The developers touch upon the challenges and fun they had bringing Godzilla to life, noting that capturing his distinct movement and destructive power was key. The game allows players to stomp through cityscapes, a core fantasy the team wanted to fulfill. A screenshot shows the game in action, featuring a detailed Godzilla model ready to unleash chaos on a city street, complete with a timer and score display. The page also briefly mentions fan feedback received after the game's release, and introduces the homepage for the related Godzilla 2000 Millennium movie. It's clear the focus was on creating an authentic Godzilla experience that fans would appreciate on the Dreamcast hardware. This page kicks off a feature titled Network 110 and the Net Life Improvement Project for Dreamcast users. It focuses on the Dreamcast's built-in network capabilities,
highlighting Sega's efforts to bring online gaming and services to players, many of whom were new to networking. The article notes that while building this infrastructure was a challenge, network knowledge has grown significantly since the console's launch. The project aims to provide Dreamcast users with essential know-how for building a network environment, covering how to enjoy online features, techniques, and even managing communication costs. It suggests a deep dive into Sega's new network services and a re-evaluation of how to fully enjoy the NetLife experience on the console.
The next page dives deeper into improving your online experience by introducing the new browser software, Dream Passport 2. Building on the previous version, this update is a big step forward in making the Dreamcast's online features more accessible and user-friendly. The article highlights Dream Passport 2's key features, including enhanced homepage support that can now play animations and background audio, and the ability to link web pages with game save data directly. The email functionality gets a major upgrade, focusing on ease of reading and use. A cool feature is the ability to send and receive game save data via email, integrating seamlessly with your visual memory unit, VMU. Inputting text is also made easier, with an improved software keyboard designed for controller use, which is a welcome change from the previous iteration. The software was distributed for free to existing users through various methods, including mail and store pickup, and bundled with new consoles. The summary box confirms features like parental controls, support for various media formats like movies, MIDI, and WAV audio, and the save data transfer capability. Screenshots show the main menu of Dream Passport 2, its software keyboard layout, and the menu for the accompanying Let's Try Drive 2 introductory program. It's clear Sega put effort into refining the online experience with this update. This page introduces Sega's foray into paid online game services, a significant step building on the online infrastructure like Dream Passport 2. The headline announces enjoying Sega's paid online net game services. A key element of these paid services is the introduction of a virtual currency, tentatively named Dorimu. Players can acquire Dorimu using credit cards, Visa, MasterCard, JCB, Nikos, or WebMoney cards. WebMoney is presented as a convenient prepaid option for those without credit cards or who prefer not to use them online, with cards available in 2,000 and 5,000 yen denominations. The first paid service is a tournament for the popular simulation game, Let's Make a Professional Baseball Team. Players can send their created team data online to participate in tournaments, with match results posted on a dedicated homepage. Entry into these tournaments requires a small fee, paid using coupon tickets purchased with Dorimu. Looking ahead, Sega plans to roll out more paid services starting in the autumn.
Upcoming titles mentioned include online components for J.League Pro Soccer Club Wotsukuru and the unique communication game Gather. Round Hot Spring. Screenshots show gameplay from Let's Make a Professional Baseball Team and J.League Pro Soccer Club Wotsukuru, along with a character scene from Gather. Round Hot Spring, highlighting the diverse range of online experiences Sega is preparing. This page focuses on mastering keyboard input skills for the online environment, a crucial aspect for utilizing Dreamcast's internet capabilities. It highlights the utility of the dedicated Dreamcast keyboard, pictured here alongside its 4,500 yen price point. The page details various methods for efficient text entry using the keyboard within the Dreamcast's online suite, primarily the Dream Passport browser. It covers specific techniques for inputting symbols and full-width English characters, which differ from standard Roman letter input. Special keys like S1 and S2 are explained for accessing menus and commands, streamlining navigation. Practical functions are demonstrated for email and homepage browsing, including convenient methods for entering URLs and using the pause key for specific assignments, which helps manage on-screen information. There's also a tip about writing posts on bulletin boards, mentioning a common practice or limit of 23 characters. The page includes a reference guide for various key assignments relevant to browsing and email. Finally, it notes an update to the network usage terms,
effective June 18. This information is essential for anyone wanting to move beyond the on-screen soft keyboard and seriously engage with the online features, whether for browsing, email, or participating in online game components like those discussed on the previous page.
This page dives into mastering handy tricks for navigating the web on your Dreamcast, building on the foundational skills needed for online interaction. It starts with a smart tip for saving money. Write your emails offline before connecting, then send them quickly once online. This helps cut down on connection time, and thus phone bills. It also covers capturing content from the Dream Passport browser, explaining how to record and save images or even video clips from pages you visit, which is a neat way to preserve interesting finds online. The page then details how to use the F keys on the Dreamcast keyboard to quickly jump to your favorite websites by assigning URLs to them, making navigation much faster than typing. For those without the keyboard, it highlights controller shortcuts for common browsing actions, like jumping back or forward through pages. There's a section on creating and using email signatures in Dream Passport, a useful feature for adding standard closing text to your messages. Finally, it touches on keyboard operations specifically for an online service or game called Segaragari 2, providing a quick reference for its unique key assignments, showing how important keyboard efficiency is for this particular experience. This section explores maximizing the Dreamcast's online capabilities while saving money. It covers two key areas: free homepage creation and email magazines. The guide simplifies creating a free homepage, detailing the process, from service access and understanding terms to basic HTML formatting and design, while also mentioning potential storage and feature limitations. It provides a list of resources to get started. The text also discusses free email magazines, explaining how to subscribe and access various content. Again, resources are provided to assist the user. Finally, it highlights a free Dreamcast experience at Gigo in Shibuya, Tokyo, offering access to network services and games like Sega Rally 2, Sonic Adventure, and the Dreamcast's internet browser, Dream Passport, allowing hands-on access to the Dreamcast's online world. This page is all about tackling the cost of getting online with your Dreamcast by looking at ways to reduce phone charges. Titled, Using Phone Company Services in Combination to Suppress Call Charges, it highlights various plans offered by phone companies, likely NTT given the time period and context, that can help users save money. It presents different service options like Telehodai, known for its late-night flat-rate access, and other plans such as Telejoys, Telechoice, Area Plus, Time Plus, and Telewise. These offer various discount structures based on things like the time of day, the area being called, specifically to connect to internet access points, or providing fixed fee options. The core advice given is for users to analyze their own internet usage patterns and strategically combine these different phone company services to minimize their monthly bills. It emphasizes that understanding how and when you connect can lead to significant savings compared to standard permanent charges. The page encourages users to compare the details of these plans and even suggests contacting NTT directly for specific information, reinforcing the idea that making online access more affordable makes the Dreamcast's online features more appealing and practical for users. This guide spotlights 3 websites dedicated to classic gaming, presented as treasure sites for enthusiasts. The first focuses on the Sega Mega Drive, Genesis, providing in-depth hardware and software reviews, especially appealing to dedicated fans. The second highlights the Sega Saturn, a resource brimming with Ultatech tips, cheats, and emulation information for mastering games. Lastly, the guide recommends a site dedicated to the GameStar Cruiser, lauded as an official hub with unique content like 3D design details, community support, and novelizations by the game's designer. Each site is reviewed based on content depth, updates, and reliability. This guide highlights several valuable online resources for gamers. Surfer's Paradise, sp.cup.com, is a versatile search engine with a dedicated gaming section, excellent for finding information across various media. For Sega enthusiasts, http://www.iya.or.jp/omaka/ offers a deep dive into Sega history and culture. A dedicated site at jonday.com addresses the potential return of ToeJam and Earl, while geocities.jp/playtownspade/9039/ incredibly created using a Dreamcast controller,
serves as a community hub. Lastly, Matchaland, yorosiku.co.jp/matcha/closing parentheses, provides original game release information and rumors. Readers are encouraged to submit their own discoveries for potential rewards. This page is the 6th installment of the Seaman Secret File, diving deeper into the bizarre world of the Dreamcast game Seaman. It opens with a surreal report about a young scholar in Tibet discussing the supposed historical impact of seamen, a typical piece of the game's lore that blurs the lines between reality and fiction. There's also a brief profile introducing the investigation team members, Matsumoto, Inoue, and Kato. The page then transitions to discussing the game's actual mechanics, detailing the early life cycle of the creature. It covers the discovery of the process from egg to young fish. Screenshots show the initial egg stage, described humorously as a deformed eyeball, and progress through the incubation phase to the appearance of the young fish stage. The captions explain the visual changes, like the development of a tail-like structure and the young fish attaching themselves to surfaces and reacting to player interaction. It highlights the strange and unique appearance of the creature as it grows from a simple egg into its early aquatic form. The next page continues the deep dive into the world of seamen, featuring the ongoing discussion between the investigation team members, Matsumoto and Inoue, and the Tibetan scholar, Lakakos. They delve further into the game's unique lore, exploring historical connections and theories about how seamen's presence might have influenced ancient civilizations and figures, including mentions of Napoleon and the transmission of knowledge. Alongside this intriguing lore, the page also brings news of real-world Seaman merchandise. It announces the release of a special limited edition Seaman model Dreamcast console, featuring a unique skeleton design, as well as limited edition glasses designed by a researcher associated with the project. The page then shifts focus to the in-game creatures. It details the fascinating development of the young seaman creature, specifically highlighting the bizarre and notable emergence of a human-like face at this early stage of its life cycle. Screenshots show the creature in the aquarium environment, illustrating its appearance and behavior. The page also introduces another mysterious organism found within the game's aquarium, describing an ammonite-like creature and its features, such as its tentacles used for feeding. The next page features a special report centered around a unique challenge involving horse racing. The main focus is the digital horse racing prediction software called My Truckman, which boasts an astonishing 80% recovery rate. The big question posed is whether this claimed performance is genuine. Adding a touch of celebrity flair, actress and personality Tamao Sato is featured, making a special appearance in this project. The core of the report is a confrontation at the prestigious Japan Derby, where the My Truckman software was put to the test. The page explains that My Truckman is a software designed to predict race outcomes, using data analysis to achieve its high prediction rate. The challenge was to see if the software could successfully predict the results of the Japan Derby, considered the pinnacle race in Japanese horse racing. The report details the experience of the challenge, showcasing the atmosphere of the Japan Derby, with photos of the race, the crowd, and even horse racing mascots. It captures the tension and excitement of pitting the software's predictions against the reality of this major event. The page highlights the attempt to prove My Truckman's capabilities on the grand stage of the Derby. The next page delivers the results of the My Truckman Race Prediction Challenge. Following the setup on the previous page, we see the predictions for the Japan Derby made by actress Tamao Sato, the team behind the My Truckman software, Sekuhara da Sanshiru, and even the mascot Derby-kun. Despite My Truckman's touted high prediction rate, the outcomes displayed show a series of miss and big miss results across the board, proving that even advanced software and seasoned predictors found this race challenging. The page then features a reflection session, with photos of the group gathered around a table, engaging in a lively post-mortem discussion. They candidly talk about their picks, the difficulty of horse racing predictions, and laugh about their collective failure. It's a fun look at the human element behind the challenge. Finally, the My Truckman editorial department announces a Hokkaido trip giveaway, seemingly as a final note to this prediction event. The page neatly concludes the My Truckman prediction saga, highlighting the unpredictable nature of the sport even when leveraging software. This page announces the 4th annual Japan Game of the Year Awards for 1999, covering software released between April 1998 and March 1999. The core concept is for readers to vote for their favorite games. The awards include the prestigious Grand Prix, a second-place Grand Prix, and special awards for games with fresh ideas, outstanding visuals, and excellent sound design. The page outlines the simple voting process, where readers cut out a ballot, select from nominated titles determined by reader input and magazine recommendations, fill in their details, and mail it in. Exciting prizes are featured to encourage participation, including colorful Apple iMac G3 computers, Sharp mobile phones, Sony MD Walkmans, Casio digital cameras, and gift certificates. This is a significant event, highlighted as a joint project by 15 different Japanese game magazines, showcasing a broad industry collaboration to celebrate the best games the year had to offer based on player feedback. The page includes the ballot form and examples of the cool prizes you could win by voting. This page presents the comprehensive list of nominated titles for the Japan Game of the Year 1999 awards. It's an extensive roster featuring 120 games released across various platforms between April 1998 and March 1999. The list covers nominations from developers like Square, Konami, Capcom, Namco, Enix, Sega, Nintendo, Sony, and many others, spanning systems such as PlayStation, Sega Saturn, Nintendo 64, Game Boy, PCFX, and even the WonderSwan and Dreamcast. You see legendary games nominated like Metal Gear Solid, The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Gran Turismo, Final Fantasy Version 2i, Resident Evil 2, and Star Ocean: The Second Story, alongside numerous other Japanese gems across multiple genres including RPGs, action games, fighting games, racers, and simulations. This is essentially the ballot itself, allowing voters to see the full breadth of quality titles from that significant year in gaming. It's a fantastic snapshot of the diverse and exciting games that were available, making the choice for voters incredibly difficult. This page features Dream Passport 2, an essential tool for enjoying the internet on the Dreamcast. It highlights several key features designed to enhance the online experience. You can now send and receive email with attachments, making it easier to share favorite URLs, images, and files with friends. Multimedia support is improved, with compatibility for MIDI, WAV, AKIF, and audio formats, letting you enjoy music on compatible homepages. For video, it supports MPEG Softdeck and Macromedia Flash, plus JavaScript, bringing games, animations, and dynamic content to web pages. Connecting is made simple, with voice guidance, walking you through the setup process. The software keyboard offers improved usability, allowing easy input of hiragana, katakana, half-width, and full-width characters, and even features a face symbol button for quick emoji input in email and chat. Finally, parental controls are included, allowing for a safe internet environment by restricting access to certain homepages, giving parents peace of mind. The page also details how existing Dreamcast users could obtain Dream Passport 2 for free, either through user registration or by trading in their original Dream Passport disc at partner shops, while new Dreamcast purchasers would receive it when buying the console. This page is a reader feedback corner titled, "Hello," from the questionnaire postcards, where readers share their thoughts written in the margins of their submitted postcards. It's a great snapshot of what Dreamcast owners were thinking at the time. Readers talk about recent game purchases and their experiences. One mentions buying Grandia 2 for 9,900 yen, noting it felt a bit pricey but was worth it. Another reader recounts an intense racing game experience, possibly Motocross GP, highlighting the thrill and challenge. There are also comments about articles in the magazine itself, with readers praising specific interviews or features, like one on the B/Mad interview. Interestingly, some comments aren't strictly about Dreamcast, like one player discussing Hot Shots Golf on PS1, suggesting a broad interest in gaming across platforms. The page is filled with small, charming illustrations drawn by the readers, depicting characters from games like Shenmue, Sakura Taizen, and even original characters or doodles reflecting their messages. The page also includes rankings of the most and least interesting articles from recent issues. The top articles considered most interesting included features on With You, Grandia 2, and Black Matrix Ad. On the other hand, articles about games like Seaman, Derby Stallion, and Giant Graham 2000 were ranked among the least interesting by readers. It's a fascinating look into the diverse interests of the Dreamcast community and their engagement with the magazine's content. The page concludes with a list of prize winners, a common feature in these reader-driven sections. The next page is all about getting reader feedback and giving back to the community with a sweet prize giveaway. 30 lucky readers have a chance to score some serious Dreamcast software. The big draw is the list of games being given away. They're offering 5 copies each of heavy hitters like Soul Calibur, Mobile Suit Nadesico, The Mission, New Japan Pro Wrestling 2-Kon Retsuden 4, Espionagents, and the uniquely themed Nasubi's Room. To enter, readers need to fill out a comprehensive questionnaire. The survey dives into reader preferences, asking them to rate reviews and articles from this very issue, share which games from the featured list they own or want, how they decide on their next purchase, and even details about their internet habits, especially concerning gaming. There's also space for open-ended comments on games they've played recently, or their thoughts on the magazine itself. It's a great way for the editors to gauge what content hits the mark and what the audience is playing. The entry deadline is set for late July. This page gives us a rundown of what's covered in the magazine and what games are relevant at the time. Table 1 lists the articles featured in this issue, highlighting coverage on a variety of Dreamcast titles like Seaman, Revive, Berserk, Mobile Suit Nadesico, The Mission, Virtua Striker 2, and the upcoming Street Fighter 03 and Cyber Troopers Virtualon Oratorio Tangram, alongside other games such as Shenmue and Carrier, giving a clear picture of the diverse content within. Tables 2 and 3 simply list various related gaming magazines and the different platforms covered or discussed, including Dreamcast, PlayStation, Saturn, Nintendo 64, and Game Boy Color, showing the breadth of the publication's interest. Table 4 presents a short list of games readers reported playing, touching on titles like King of Fighters and Resident Evil, likely connecting to the survey discussed on the previous page. Finally, Table 5 is a large list of upcoming software titles for Dreamcast and Sega Saturn, scheduled for release after July 9th. This list is extensive, featuring highly anticipated games like Soul Calibur, SNK vs. Capcom, Virulent X, Carrier, and many others across both platforms, including titles like Shenmue and Jet Set Radio, giving readers a look at the exciting releases on the horizon. This page features the Ranking Street section, focusing on sales data and market trends. The main article highlights how the recent price cut for the Dreamcast console has successfully stimulated the market, noting a significant increase in sales volume for the console itself and a boost in software sales, particularly for existing popular titles. Below the article are 3 weekly sales rankings for both Dreamcast and Sega Saturn. These tables cover the periods June 7th, 13th, June 14th, 20th, and June 21st, 27th, showing the top-selling games during each week. We see titles like Dynamite Cop 2, Elemental Gimmick Gear, and The House of the Dead 2 appearing consistently, with new releases like Virtua Fighter 3 TB and Sega Rally 2 also making strong showings. The data is compiled from nationwide sales figures and reader surveys, offering a clear snapshot of the market's activity following the console's price adjustment. The next page delves deeper into the market's response, showing how recent announcements from Sega have dramatically shifted the overall popularity rankings. The main section, Popularity Ranking, focuses on games people are anticipating. The text explains that the rankings were significantly affected by Sega's recent conference, with new titles creating a stir. Super Robot Wars F-Final climbed significantly, while Virtua Striker 2 also saw a strong increase in popularity, reaching 4th place. The ranking table itself shows Grandia 2 at number 1, followed by Shenmue and With You. Super Robot Wars F-Final is high up, and Virtua Striker 2 is prominent below. The desired port ranking highlights which arcade games readers most want to see ported to the Dreamcast or Saturn. According to the accompanying text, the top spot is firmly held by Sakura Wars, demonstrating its continued popularity. Sega's announcement of F355 Challenge has also had a significant impact, entering the ranking at number 8 and showing strong interest in this new title. The table confirms Sakura Wars is number 1, followed by Rent a Hero and Sakura Taisen 2. F355 Challenge is also listed. Finally, there's a section calling for reader submissions for game reviews, specifically seeking opinions on various titles, with a deadline mentioned for submissions. This page dives deep into the nuances of horse training within the popular simulation game, Derby Stallion. Titled Game Study Hall, it poses the question, is your training method really correct? And sets out to compare different training approaches. The main focus is an experiment where 6 different editors from the magazine took the exact same sample horse and trained it using their individual methods up to December of its 4-year-old season, specifically targeting the prestigious December BC Breeders' Cup races. The article emphasizes that while breeding is often highlighted, effective training is a critical, yet frequently overlooked, aspect of success in Derby Stallion. It aims to showcase how different training regimens impact a horse's development and performance. Each of the 6 editors is featured with their photo or caricature, a brief profile, their personal training philosophy or key points, a summary of the training content from the horse's early life up to December, and the resulting race record and earnings by December. This provides a comparative look at diverse strategies, from focusing on speed, stamina, or a balanced approach, and demonstrates the varied outcomes achieved by the same horse under different guidance. The results section summarizes their win records, total earnings, and major wins, giving readers insight into which methods proved most effective in this particular test case.
This page continues the in-depth look at training in Derby Stallion, presenting the final results of the experiment where 6 different editors trained the same horse. The focus here is on the Breeders' Cup races held in December, where the outcomes of their varied training methods are put to the ultimate test. A table summarizes the performance of each editor's horse in the BC races, revealing which training strategies paid off. The article analyzes these results, discussing the impact of focusing on different stats like speed versus stamina, and drawing conclusions about effective training approaches for reaching top performance by the end of the 4-year-old season. Notably, the training method employed by editor Katu is highlighted and examined in detail, with a sample weekly training schedule provided to illustrate his successful technique. The page also includes an announcement for the 4th Reader Breeders' Cup event, inviting players to participate in a competition using their trained horses. Additionally, there's a section offering general gameplay tips and advice related to training and strategy in Derby Stallion. This page dives deep into the Dreamcast version of the King of Fighters 99, revealing how players can access and utilize the hidden, or X, versions of several characters. Just like in the arcade original, by selecting a character while holding the start button, you can switch to their alternate form. These X versions aren't just palette swaps. They come with entirely different movesets, often featuring special and super moves from previous games in the series, which fundamentally changes their playstyle. For example, X Terry Bogard gains moves reminiscent of his real bout Fatal Fury appearances. The article provides extensive move lists for these hidden characters. It details the command inputs for their unique special moves and devastating super moves, offering a strategic advantage to players who master these alternate forms. Characters with X versions featured include Terry, Andy, Joe, Billy, Ryo, Robert, Yuri, Kyo, Iori, Shingo, Chris, Shermie, and Yashiro, allowing fans to revisit classic movesets within KOF 99's gameplay system. The page also includes a section calling for submissions for the Hyper Ultec feature, which seems to be a reader-contributed tips and tricks section. This page is related to the Hyper Ultec reader submission feature mentioned previously. It appears to be a form or ranking grid for readers to submit their responses or rankings for a contest or tip section within Dreamcast Fan Magazine issue number 14. This page is a reader response postcard included in the magazine, specifically for Dreamcast Fan issue number 14. It's addressed to the Dreamcast Fan Reader Present application desk at an address in Kotoku, Tokyo, and requires a 50 yen stamp. Readers could fill this out to participate in a contest and provide feedback. It includes sections for personal information like address, name, and phone numbers. A significant part of the form is dedicated to evaluating games based on Table 4 on P71. Which relates to the reader ranking or evaluation feature, likely the Hyper Ultec mentioned previously. Readers were instructed to select games they had played from that table, and provide their evaluation. There's also a section to indicate which presents from the current issue the reader desires, connecting the game evaluation with a chance to win prizes. It's a direct engagement tool for the magazine to gather reader opinions and conduct giveaways. This page features a preview of the wrestling game New Japan Pro Wrestling Tekken Ritsuden 4 for the Dreamcast. The article highlights various game modes, including single matches, tag matches, and league play, aiming to capture the full experience of New Japan Pro Wrestling. A significant focus is placed on the presentation, particularly the detailed recreation of wrestler entrances and in-ring performances. Screenshots showcase the dramatic lighting and atmosphere of the entrances, as well as in-game action and wrestler models. The page also confirms that online battles were planned, with mention of a group being launched within the DC fan server. Real-life photos of prominent NJPW wrestlers such as Hiroshi Hase, Keiji Muto, Great Muta, Shinya Hashimoto, and Riki Choshu are displayed alongside the game visuals, emphasizing the authentic representation of the promotion's stars. The game was scheduled for release on August 5th. The next page dives deeper into the game modes available in New Japan Pro Wrestling Tekken Ritsuden 4, specifically highlighting 8 major modes designed to capture the strong style experience. The game offers diverse ways to play, starting with the exhibition match mode,
allowing players complete freedom to set up single matches, tag matches, battle royales, or even 5-on-5 elimination bouts. Perfect for quick fun or practicing moves. The article then details the series match mode, recreating 4 popular tournament and league formats from NJPW history, such as the prestigious G1 Climax, the SG Tag League, and the Best of the Super Juniors. These modes utilize authentic league or tournament structures. Screenshots show the tournament brackets and in-ring action reflecting these specific series. Finally, the page introduces the IWGP Championship Match Mode. The ultimate goal of climbing to the top of NJPW. Players must fight their way through a series of matches, starting from the bottom, to earn a shot at the various IWGP titles, including the heavyweight, tag team, junior heavyweight, and junior tag team belts. This mode is described as a challenging gauntlet, leading to the final championship bout. The page uses screenshots to illustrate the mode selection, wrestler choices, and intense moments from matches across these different modes and championship pursuits. The next page delves into more detailed features of New Japan Pro Wrestling. To Fikon Ritsuden 4. It first highlights the comprehensive Wrestler Edit mode, allowing players to create their ideal grappler from scratch or by modifying existing ones. You can customize everything from appearance and movesets to parameters and even complex in-ring logic, truly crafting a unique competitor. Beyond just selecting the venue, the game also lets you choose the specific ring mat design, adding another layer of customization to the match presentation. Screenshots showcase the variety available for both venues and mats. The page also details a mode where you can view profiles and messages from the wrestlers featured in the game. This includes bios and potentially insights or comments from the real-life New Japan stars. There's even mention of fan comments or voices being included, adding an interesting community touch. For a pure test of endurance, the challenge. The Burning Spirits mode offers survival matches against a gauntlet of opponents. You can face 10, 20, or even 30 wrestlers continuously, selecting opponents from the entire roster or specific categories, making it a brutal test of skill. Finally, there's a section discussing a DC fan community initiative related to the game, perhaps suggesting events or competitions involving created wrestlers, inviting players to join and showcase their abilities. This page provides an in-depth look at the upcoming simulation game, Espionagents. The article reports on the game's development progress and features a hands-on verification using a room. It breaks down the game's core loop into 3 main parts: mission selection, mission execution, and post-clear bonuses. Players choose missions, deploy agents to complete objectives which are shown in real time on a split screen, and then receive bonuses like skill points, AP, to enhance their agents after successful completion. The page also highlights the game's general overview, including its genre as a simulation game on the Dreamcast, and features screenshots showcasing various elements like agent status screens and mission selection menus. This page continues the exploration of Espionagents, focusing on the diverse agents players will manage, noting that understanding their individual personalities and data is key to success. The page introduces several agents, detailing their unique skills and roles within a mission. For example, Garshan Giant Vladimirov is highlighted as a professional in demolition, strong in close combat. Charles Drug Maniac Ferrell excels in support actions like healing and hacking, while Sarah Rocket Rulia is a combat specialist with impressive speed. Ling Hua, Lin Lifa, is an acrobat skilled in stealth and close-quarters combat with knives. Gabriel Ernest Archangel is the team's tech expert, proficient in hacking and machinery despite his young age, though slower physically. Cleopatra, the Hypnotist, specializes in deception and crowd control. Beyond individual profiles, the page also covers data common to all agents, including HP hit points and SP skill points. These are resources consumed during missions, with SP specifically used for executing skills. Both recover over time. Finally, the article touches on the human charm of the agents, explaining that they are not just statistics, but have individual backstories and personalities explored through the game, adding significant narrative depth. Screenshots show dialogue sequences between agents, emphasizing that character interactions are an interesting part of the experience. This page delves deeper into the gameplay experience of espionage, specifically focusing on the challenge and enjoyment of simultaneously managing multiple agents in Mission 2. The objective here is to acquire the item Phantasm, requiring careful navigation through the game's multi-story facilities. Players must constantly check the map and verify the locations of their agents and the target, adapting quickly as the situation unfolds. A significant aspect highlighted is how the chosen team composition drastically alters strategic approaches. For example, selecting agents like Sandra allows for direct confrontation with enemies, while opting for someone like Cerulean might favor stealth and evasion tactics. The article emphasizes the variety in strategy based on the unique abilities of the up to 4 selected team members. The combat system is described as primarily auto-battling, where agents engage enemies based on preset AI configurations if not given direct instructions. Screenshots on the page showcase various game elements, including the tactical map interface, the team selection screen featuring agents like Michelle and Charles Farouli, a dialogue snippet from Cleopatra confirming successful entry, and dynamic combat scenes featuring agents like Sandra and Yuling Hua engaging security personnel. The overall message is that the simultaneous control and strategic team building are key to the fun and challenge of espionage. This page continues the deep dive into espionage, focusing on specific gameplay mechanics that keep missions engaging and unpredictable. It details the difficulty of managing multiple agents navigating complex environments simultaneously, highlighting how unexpected obstacles can lead to chaos if not handled carefully. Success often requires a trial-and-error approach, as players learn the best paths and actions for each agent. The article also covers how missions can take sudden turns due to unexpected events. Arriving at a location only to find the objective missing or receiving new, urgent tasks mid-mission forces players to adapt their strategy on the fly. One key mechanic explained is the DP defense points and SP skill points system. DP represents the resilience of systems like doors or terminals, while SP is the agent's energy used to overcome DP through actions like hacking. Managing SP efficiently and improving agent skills are crucial for overcoming obstacles. Adding to the replayability and depth are hidden events scattered throughout the game. These can range from automatic triggers to specific character interactions or discoveries in certain locations, like a male agent stumbling into a female agent's personal space. These hidden elements encourage thorough exploration and offer unique moments beyond the main objectives, showcasing character personalities and adding flavor to the world. Screenshots illustrate agent movement, dialogue events, the DP-SP interface, and examples of these hidden interactions. This page introduces the game Super Producers from Hudson Soft, a simulation title where players take on the role of a producer aiming to create a success story for a rookie singer. The artwork features 3 characters, 2 male and 1 female, highlighting the character-driven nature of the game. The core gameplay revolves around discovering and developing a singer. The process involves several key commands to manage their career effectively. The 5 main commands outlined are: Debut, which covers scouting and deciding the singer's direction; Promote, focused on composing songs and marketing; Downtown, for gathering information from people in the city; Chart, where the goal is to dominate music charts across different styles; and Online, enabling player interaction via the network. Screenshots illustrate various aspects of the game, including the audition process where singer parameters are reviewed, the appeal time, which shows the singer performing on stage, and a makeup screen for customizing the singer's appearance. The game emphasizes nurturing the singer through strategic decisions in these different areas to achieve stardom. The next page dives deeper into the mechanics of Super Producers. Building upon the core commands introduced previously, it details the promote function, showing how players can create songs by selecting bass tracks and customizing them phrase by phrase, even choosing individual instruments like piano, percussion, organ, guitar, and bass. Screenshots illustrate the interface for song creation and checking the overall structure. Further sections explain the crucial selling and live activities, including media selection, title and packaging design, deciding release dates, and manufacturing quantities. The importance of live performances for generating hits is emphasized, with screenshots depicting street performances and larger venue stages. The page also elaborates on the Downtown command, explaining its role in researching city trends by talking to people and participating in activities like DJ games to understand what music is popular. The Chart command is presented as the path to conquering the music world, highlighting rival producers and singers, and showing the producer ranking screen where the goal of reaching number 1 is set. Finally, the online section reveals that the true ultimate challenge lies online against other players on the world chart, distinguishing local play from global competition. Screenshots show the world audition for finding new talent and the world chart interface where player rankings are displayed, emphasizing that conquering this chart makes you a genuine super producer. A brief note mentions that singers will eventually retire.
This page reports on a unique software titled Nasubi's Room, described as a prize-living software with a Denpa Shon-esque theme, referencing the reality show where the comedian Nasubi undertook his famous challenge. The core concept is to experience virtual prize living within the game, mirroring Nasubi's real-life isolation relying solely on prizes. The report highlights the game's features, including applying for both real-world prizes online and virtual prizes within the game simultaneously. Screenshots show the game room where the character, resembling Nasubi, resides. Gameplay involves receiving prizes, managing Nasubi's health and status, including stats like physical strength, mood, fatigue, and stress, and interacting with items in the room. The goal seems tied to acquiring virtual wealth, possibly aiming for a target like 100 million yen in virtual prizes. The feature includes information about Nasubi himself, and notes that the software allows easy prize applications without traditional postcards. It emphasizes focusing on the virtual prize aspect, while also featuring insights from Nasubi about his actual experience. This blends the game's simulation with the real-world context that inspired it. This page features an interview with Nasubi, the subject of the prize-living software game discussed previously. He shares his thoughts on his infamous real-life experience living solely off prizes. Nasubi talks about the importance of a positive attitude and believing you will win, stating that continuation is the path to success. He expresses a desire to share the feeling of winning with players through the game, and recalls his memorable winning techniques, like literally shouting out the names on postcards. He also reflects on the deeper meaning he found in living life dependent on winning prizes, and how it relates to freedom. The page includes a glimpse of the game's prologue and announces a giveaway for signed shikishi, colored boards, from Nasubi for 3 lucky winners. This interview provides personal insight into the inspiration behind the unique game. This page introduces the bizarre romance-adventure game Maboroshi Tsukiyo, described as a unique romance adventure where the heroine is possessed by a demon. The page promises to showcase all the characters that appear in the game, along with introducing the game's setting, Tsukiyo Town. The overview highlights the game's opening scenario, detailing the protagonist's encounter with Ayame, which serves as the prologue, leading into the game's core narrative. A significant portion of the page is dedicated to introducing key locations within Tsukiyo Town, illustrated with a map. Featured spots include the Hilltop Park, the protagonist's apartment, the convenience store, Tsukiyo Station, and Tsukiyo Academy, the school attended by the protagonist and other characters. Tsukiyo Town is described as a bedroom town near Tokyo, also known as a sightseeing spot. Accompanying screenshots show various scenes from the game, including a character standing in front of a sunset over water, another character lying down looking distressed, a girl in a kimono in what appears to be the Hilltop Park, a character interacting with flowers at a flower shop, and a look inside the protagonist's apartment. The text describes the meeting at Hilltop Park, and the protagonist's first encounter with the mysterious Ayame. It also briefly touches on the flower shop and the protagonist's apartment, noting he lives alone, but receives help from a childhood friend. The next page features a detailed character relationship chart for the bizarre romance-adventure game Maboroshi Tsukiyo, allowing players to clearly understand the intricate connections between the protagonist and the various cast members. The chart maps out relationships like friendship, love, rivalry, family ties, and even hostility among the characters. Notably, the game centers around the protagonist interacting with a large cast, including 9 different girls with whom a romantic relationship is possible. Key characters highlighted include Ayame, the mysterious heroine, her family members, the Asagiri clan, friends like Tsumugi, a rival named Yamada, and several classmates and other figures involved in the protagonist's life, such as twins Miyuki and Kaoru, and the idol Christina Graham. Below the relationship chart, the page provides glimpses into some of the key locations within Tsukiyo Town that the protagonist will explore. Screenshots showcase the bustling Tsukiyono shopping street, a common hangout spot, the serene shrine located within the previously mentioned Hilltop Park, significant as a meeting place for the protagonist and Ayame, and host to a summer festival, the Aikido dojo, where the protagonist is involved in martial arts,
and a typical classroom within the high school attended by the main characters. These locations serve as the backdrop for the unfolding story and character interactions in the game. This page focuses on the romance-adventure game With You for the Sega Saturn, highlighting its upcoming release and climactic story. The main feature discusses the game's final chapter, titled Chapter 4, Misunderstanding, Doubt, Separation, describing how the thoughts of the three main characters intertwine, leading to peak intensity and significant events. The text hints that the contents of these events, influenced by feelings towards two characters, change dramatically, leaving the specific outcomes as something to be discovered during gameplay. The page also details two bonus features available after completion, a CG mode and a music mode. The CG mode allows players to view all unlocked event CGS, including high-resolution ones. The music mode lets players freely listen to the background music that played during the game. Visually, the page features a large illustration of a character in a swimsuit on a beach, overlaying the game title, With You, along with another character in casual clothes. Smaller screenshots provide glimpses of dramatic story moments and previews of the CG and music modes. Game details like the platform, release date, and price are present, but not detailed in the summary. The next page delves deeper into the unfolding narrative and gameplay systems of the romance-adventure game, With You. It highlights several pivotal story moments, including an event titled, Masami is Moving Again?, which hints at dramatic changes potentially involving separation. Another section, Masami's Worry, focuses on her complex feelings towards the protagonist, and another character named Akane, exploring the emotional entanglement. The story also touches upon everyday events, like shopping for Akane's birthday, and a mysterious incident in the library involving Masami's sudden disappearance, sparking an investigation initiated by the protagonist and a teacher. Beyond the plot points illustrated with character art and screenshots, the page details the game's user interface and system. It emphasizes player convenience, with features like message skipping, adjustable text and voice speeds, and a character introduction system. A prominent screenshot shows a calendar interface, indicating a schedule planning element in the gameplay, allowing players to manage their time and interactions effectively. This section reassures players that the game includes robust options for a smooth and enjoyable experience. The page concludes with a "To be continued" marker, promising further reveals about the game's story and features. This page provides a strategy guide for the popular fighting game, Street Fighter Alpha 3, titled Street Fighter 03 in Japan, specifically focusing on its World Tour mode on the Dreamcast. The guide aims to help players build a powerful character by navigating the global stages, detailing a path specifically through the Asia and USSR stages. The World Tour mode involves raising your fighter by clearing specific areas and earning isms, which are different fighting styles or modes that alter gameplay mechanics, similar to the VISM and AISM systems in the international version. The page includes a map showing possible routes through the Asia stage, highlighting various missions like dramatic battles, tag team fights, and time attacks. It mentions obtaining specific isms, such as Hard Body, likely VISM focusing on custom combos, and Zero Counter Plus, likely AISM focusing on super combos, and briefly describes their benefits and when to use them. Screenshots display gameplay action, character art, and menu elements related to mission results and ism selection. The guide emphasizes the importance of getting perfect victories for better progression, and advises considering overall balance when selecting isms for your character. It's a concise breakdown for players looking to optimize their progression in the World Tour mode. The next page continues the strategy guide for Street Fighter Alpha 3's World Tour mode on the Dreamcast, focusing specifically on navigating the UA.SR stage. This section highlights that the USR presents a slightly higher difficulty and emphasizes adjusting your chosen ism, fighting style, to succeed. A detailed map shows the different branching paths you can take through this region. Several specific missions and the isms associated with them are outlined. These include challenges like Target Attack, where you must defeat only one opponent in a tag battle, and Guard Crush missions, focused on breaking the opponent's guard. The guide describes various guard-related isms like Air Guard, for aerial defense, Damage Plus, where guarding boosts your damage, the highly useful Super Guard, which negates guard damage, and the less reliable Auto Guard. It also mentions unique attack conditions tied to isms, such as Super Combo Attack and Slow Attack, which restrict damage to specific move types. The page offers advice on building your character for certain routes, recommending specific ism combinations, and provides general tips for World Tour mode progression. This includes aiming for perfect victories and leveraging isms like Vism, custom combo, for efficient leveling and character growth. Screenshots showcase gameplay, ism selection, and mission results, featuring characters like Zangief, E-Honda, and others in action. Overall, it's a focused breakdown to help players optimize their path and character build through the challenges of the UA.S.R stage. This page features a strategy guide for the racing game Buggy Heat. The guide focuses on mastering the basics of off-road driving and, importantly, training the game's AI driver. It emphasizes getting accustomed to the game's simulator-like controls and views the AI as an alter ego that you must educate. The training process is broken down into 2 steps. First, teaching fundamental driving techniques, and then teaching the optimal racing lines on the course. The guide covers essential driving skills like weight transfer, explaining how braking or lifting off the accelerator shifts weight forward, and how to control the vehicle without losing tire grip. It warns against slowing down while in a corner, and advises shifting weight before entering the turn. Furthermore, the guide categorizes vehicles into 2 main handling types: oversteer and understeer. It lists examples of vehicles belonging to each type, noting that oversteer types are recommended for beginners. Screenshots illustrate driving techniques, different course sections, and UI elements, including one showing an autopilot display, highlighting the AI feature. The overall tone is instructive, aiming to help players become skilled drivers and effectively train their AI partner for optimal performance. This guide details time attack strategies for Buggy Heat, USA and Egypt courses, crucial for championship mode progress. For USA, focus on high speed. Key checkpoints involve braking points, maintaining torque in S-curves, 120–140 km per hour, half throttle, watch for grip, and mastering the final corner through weight shifting, braking, and controlled tire slides. Egypt emphasizes torque and high speed, adjusted for sand. Strategies include precise accelerator control, 120–140 km per hour, half throttle, at checkpoint 1, sharp corner cutting with front tires at checkpoint 2, and an early accelerator step with side brake use at checkpoint 3 for efficient corner linking. The guide also mentions an AI training component. The AI learns from player data, including driving techniques. Players are encouraged to contribute their data to improve the AI's performance. This page details strategies for Tokyo Stream Racer, focusing on race tactics beyond just speed and tuning for optimal performance against rivals. The guide emphasizes adapting to course conditions and opponent behavior for victory. It outlines 3 key rules for achieving victory in high-speed battles. First, efficient quest mode progress is crucial, starting with earning credits, around 25,000 suggested initially, to buy better cars. Simply buying the most expensive car isn't enough. Tuning is vital. The guide advises investing in tuning early to challenge rivals effectively. Second, it stresses the importance of adapting your driving line. Unlike circuit racing, highway battles require flexibility to react to rivals and traffic. You should aim to take corners at the highest possible speed while maintaining control. Third, blocking rivals is essential to prevent them from overtaking, especially when they are close behind. Maintaining a strong defensive line keeps them at bay. The page also highlights specific battle points on the course. These are crucial sections for gaining an advantage, involving strategic cornering lines, inward or outward depending on the turn, and identifying optimal points to overtake or defend. Diagrams illustrate cornering lines, inward, outward, and key points. Screenshots show gameplay on different sections of the Quan inner loop, junction, highlighting the visual style and environment of the games. The tuning section displays a car with buyable parts like a spoiler and engine parts, emphasizing customization. This guide for Tokyo Stream Racer focuses on car tuning, gameplay mechanics, and rival encounters. The tuning and settings section details how engine, suspension, mufflers, wheels, and body parts affect performance, guiding players through various tuning stages. Key gameplay tips are provided, including advice on getting a strong start and utilizing grip/drift techniques for cornering. The guide then covers rivals, categorized into basic and special. Basic rivals, organized into teams like Rolling Guy and Curving Edge, must be defeated to challenge their team leaders. Special rivals, such as Death Driver and Midnight Phantom, appear under specific conditions, independent of the standard progression. The guide concludes with screenshots illustrating rival encounters and profiles, enhancing the player's understanding of the game's rival system. This page features a preview of Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story: The Fallen Colony, a 3D STG for the Dreamcast that aims for realistic combat. The article focuses on Stage 5, set after the battle at the Charleston Research Institute near Adelaide Base. Piloting the White Dingo unit, players are tasked with suppressing the remaining Zeon forces, including the Yukon team. The stage involves navigating the damaged city and coastal areas, encountering enemy mobile suits like the Zaku 2 and the amphibious Gog. Screenshots showcase the cockpit perspective, intense mobile suit battles on land and underwater, and the detailed environments of the ruined city and coastal defense lines. The Gog, specifically, is highlighted in an underwater engagement, noting the beam saber is less effective there, presenting a tactical challenge. The preview emphasizes the game's realistic combat and detailed environments. This page covers two distinct Dreamcast titles, starting with the rhythm game sequel, Popsin Music 2, that highlights the game's imminent release on the Dreamcast, bringing the popular arcade experience home. The article introduces several new characters joining the roster, each with their unique design and stage aesthetic, such as the Japanese Ma-style character Esataro, the acoustic pop fan Sugi-kun, the elegant Indian dancer Carrie, the enigmatic Timer, the visual K vampire Yuri, and the heavy metal guitarist Damian. Screenshots show these characters alongside the familiar vertical scrolling gameplay notes. The game promises the core rhythm gameplay with added features like a party mode. The bottom section shifts gears to the high-octane racing game, Speed Devils. This title takes players on a thrill ride across various locations in North America, including desert landscapes, snowy roads, and urban environments. The game features fierce competition and a focus on speed, challenging players with diverse courses. Screenshots showcase the different environments and the detailed classic American cars from the 1950s that are central to the experience. The article also mentions a garage feature where players can tune up their vehicles. This page features two unique Dreamcast titles. The top section covers Kid Tabukin ni Iku Chao Hatsume Boy Kanapan, The Mystery of the Runaway Robot, an RPG based on the popular anime. Players step into the shoes of genius inventor Kid Kanapan, tasked with unraveling the mystery behind rampaging robots. The core gameplay revolves around invention. You'll gather hints from research, collect materials, and use a special invention machine to create items essential for your adventure. The process involves steps like assembly, heating, and applying electricity, with success or failure impacting resource use. Combat pits your custom-built robots against enemies in strategic battles, where using different cores and mastering attack and defense are key. Screenshots show character art for Kanapan and Sukun, the invention process, and robot battles. Below, we have Programming Robot Battle: Marionette Handler. This title is a tactical simulation game where you program small bipedal robots called marionettes for one-on-one battles. The key mechanic is creating the robot's actions entirely automatically by arranging program chips like a flowchart. You'll use commands such as search, attack, defense, move, energy supplement, and sub-weapon use, defining your strategy node by node. Success in battle depends entirely on the logic and efficiency of your programming. There are 6 types of marionettes, and you can upgrade them with new parts and weapons bought in a shop, adding a layer of customization to the strategic programming challenge. Screenshots display the programming flowchart, battle sequences, and the shop interface. This page highlights 2 distinct gaming experiences on the Dreamcast. The top section introduces World Neverland Plus, Old Kingdom Story, a life simulation game where players are dropped into a virtual world and tasked with simply living their life. Unlike traditional games, there's no strict objective or storyline. Players are free to spend their time as they wish, whether that involves working, socializing, or pursuing personal goals, truly experiencing another life. Screenshots show character interactions, status menus, and a view of the world map. Below that is Air Force Delta, a flight combat simulation from Konami. This game focuses on realistic dogfighting, putting players in the cockpit of modern fighter jets to undertake various combat missions. The game emphasizes recreating standard aerial engagements with detailed aircraft models and environments. Screenshots display cockpit views, external views of planes in action, and mission briefing screens, showcasing the game's focus on authentic aerial combat. This page features a selection of diverse experiences available on the Dreamcast. In the top left, we see Akihabara Denogumi Patipies, a game based on the popular anime series. It's described as a relationship-building game where you interact with the characters from the show, aiming to gain heart points to deepen friendships. Screenshots show character interactions and the unique Patipi character interacting with others.
Next to it, Marionette Company is highlighted.
This is a simulation game where you raise a robot companion named Marionette. The goal is to interact with her through communication and customization, making her more human-like over 6 months. Screenshots illustrate the communication interface and the robot being customized with different parts, emphasizing the bond you develop.
Moving down, World Mystery Discovery,
Troy is featured. Based on the TBS television program of the same name, this is an adventure game where you play as an investigator, exploring the ruins of ancient Troy, aiming to uncover mysteries and solve puzzles related to its history. Screenshots show the rendered 3D environments representing the ancient city.
Finally, the page showcases Shin Honkaku Hanafuda.
This is a straightforward Hanafuda card game simulator, focusing on authentic gameplay with different rule variations and modes, including tournaments. Screenshots display the game table setup with the cards, illustrating the classic Japanese card game. Overall, the page demonstrates the breadth of the Dreamcast library, from anime tines and life simulations to adventure games and traditional Japanese games. This page features software impressions and point reviews, highlighting games scheduled for release between July 8th and July 29th. The main section is a grid of brief reviews from multiple contributors, discussing various titles like the fighting game masterpiece Soul Calibur, the unique life simulation Seaman, the strategy title Climax, and others like Flame Grid, World Neverland, and With You. Reviewers offer their quick takes on the upcoming releases. Also featured is a more detailed look at Chouhatsume Boy Kani Pan, an RPG, where inventing items is a key mechanic. Based on an anime, the game blends visual novel elements with exploration and item creation. Reviewers praise its production values, noting that despite its target audience, it's a well-made and enjoyable game, particularly highlighting the fun of the item invention system and the quality of the visuals and music. The review concludes with a score breakdown based on overall impression, originality, ease of play, the invention system, presentation, and music, awarding the game a score of 7 from 3 different reviewers. The next page continues the software impressions, featuring more upcoming Dreamcast titles. First up is Frame Gride, a mech action game with a focus on online combat, as seen in the screenshot showing a heavily customized mech engaged in battle. Reviewers highlight the depth of customization and the potential for intense online play, though some found the controls a bit clunky initially. Despite some interface issues, the core combat and personalization were noted as strong points. Next is World Neverland Plus, Old Kingdom Monogatari, a unique life simulation RPG.
The screenshot shows a vibrant, top-down view of a town filled with characters.
This game allows players to live a simulated life within a fantasy world, forming relationships, marrying, and even having children who continue the lineage. Reviewers praised its engaging life simulation aspects and the ability to experience a rich, ongoing world.
Finally, the page reviews Sekai Fushigi Hakken,
Troya,
an adventure game based on the popular historical TV show, focusing on the Trojan War. The screenshot features a character that looks like a historical figure or guide. The game blends investigation, minigames, and visual novel elements to retell the epic story. Reviewers found the premise interesting, but noted some issues with camera control and presentation, though the historical content and puzzles were appreciated. Each game review includes point scores from multiple contributors, reflecting their overall impressions and opinions on various aspects like originality, gameplay, and presentation.
The next page presents more software impressions, starting with Authentic Hanafuda. This title, as seen in the screenshot, is a digital rendition of the traditional Japanese card game. Reviewers appreciate its faithful representation and presentation, noting it's a solid digital version for enthusiasts of the game. Below that is With You I Want to Keep Gazing at You, a visual novel featuring a romantic storyline, illustrated by the character C.G. Shone. The impressions highlight its engaging scenario and appealing characters, particularly the heroines, and discuss the branching narrative paths and multiple endings. Reviewers found it a well-executed example of the genre, offering a heartwarming experience. Finally, There's a roundtable discussion where several reviewers share their thoughts on various games. They revisit Frame Grind, the mech action title mentioned on the previous page, with some commenting on the controls and the unique aspects of its online focus. They also discuss With You, praising the character designs and the overall feel of the game, reinforcing the positive impressions from the dedicated review section. This page delves into the arcade scene, with the Arcade Hits Now feature, highlighting upcoming titles and secrets. First up is Sega's Firefighters, presented as the third entry in their Dragon series. Players take on the role of a firefighter, battling blazes with a controllable hose. Success depends on managing water pressure and skillfully adjusting the nozzle between focused streams and wide sprays to put out fires efficiently, often against a clock for bonus rewards. The game aims for realistic fire scenarios and is set for a July release. The page then shifts to Metal Slug X, offering a collection of secrets and tips for players. It reveals that targeting the head of the first boss can result in a spectacular explosion, a detail reportedly unknown even to the developers initially. The third boss is highlighted for its unusually varied and sometimes humorous animations, deviating from the typical Metal Slug boss patterns. Another key tip is the effectiveness of drop shots, firing explosive weapons like grenades or rockets at the ground to hit enemies from below or on elevated platforms, a useful tactic for clearing difficult areas. A safe spot for 2 players in Area 6 is also briefly mentioned. Sega's Firefighters offers a dramatic rescue scenario, tasking players with saving citizens from a burning hotel. Capcom's Strider 2, a dynamic action sequel, features the return of Strider Hiryu after a decade, with enhanced action including sliding, grappling, a new dash, and sub-weapons. For Metal Slug X, the page provides helpful tips. It details the Laser Secret, a powerful weapon strategy. Further, it gives scoring advice, including destroying obstacles and camels for points. The game's difficulty dynamically adjusts based on rank, influencing enemy behavior. The page clarifies item appearances as mostly random, disproving previous theories, and introduces helpful support characters, Ai Sugiyama and Kyotaro Aigami. This page covers the latest news surrounding the Dreamcast, hitting on hot topics like hardware sales and upcoming events. It kicks off by discussing the positive impact of the recent Dreamcast price reduction, noting strong sales, stores selling out, and positive user reception, with titles like Giant Gram 2 All Japan Pro Wrestling reportedly seeing good sales alongside the console boost. There's also a specific mention of a price cut for the distinctive Majora-colored Dreamcast model. The page then touches on buzz surrounding a new, mysterious TV commercial featuring an old man, gauging its reception. Finally, it details the Tokyo Character Show 1999 event, a major gathering in July celebrating game characters with tons of merchandise, talks, and stage events, featuring a wide range of companies, from major publishers like SNK, Capcom, and Sega, to many others showcasing their character goods and more. This page is packed with exciting event news for the summer and fall. It highlights the Dreamcast 99 Internet Show in Akihabara, a 4-day event focusing on the console's online features, showcasing network games and technology with participation from around 30 companies. Gamers can also read about the upcoming Tokyo Game Show 99 Autumn, set for September 17th to 19th at Makuhari Messe, promising a focus on innovative game experiences, with an increased number of exhibitors compared to previous years. For fans of chilling music, the page announces the Resident Evil Orchestra Concert 1999 on August 25th, which will feature orchestral performances of music from the series, and include a talk show with producer Shinji Mikami. Celebrating a classic series, there's news about the Tokimeki Memorial, the 5th Anniversary Culture Festival Edition event taking place in Shinjuku from August 6th to 8th, commemorating 5 years since the original game and tying into the announcement of Tokimeki Memorial 2. Finally, competitive players can join the Street Fighter Alpha 3 Network Battle event, running from late August through September, offering online competition for prizes using a password found in the magazine. The page includes images promoting these events, such as event models, the Tokyo Game Show logo, and characters from Tokimeki Memorial. The Neo Geo Pocket Color gets a new Ganbare Hanshin Tigers version. The history trading card game Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Battle of Red Cliffs, is introduced, offering a TCG based on the historical novel. Shibuya welcomes a new Dreamcast antenna shop and Jigo Arcade, becoming a hub for Dreamcast fans with console displays, merchandise, and arcade games. A special feature explores the status of Sega Saturn games. Some, like High School Countdown, are cancelled. Monika's Castle is possibly shifting to Dreamcast. The article also touches on Wizard's World and Real Sound. Sonic 3D Blast's future on Dreamcast is implied, hinting at Sonic Adventure. The feature suggests some games are being adapted or remain in development. This page showcases a variety of media related to the gaming world. It highlights the release of the Cyber Troopers Virtual-On Oratorio Tangram soundtrack, a dual-disc compilation for the arcade mech fighting game, including a character sticker in the first pressings. Information on Studio Ghibli's upcoming film, My Neighbors the Yamadas, a slice-of-life animation based on a comic strip, is also provided, along with images of character plush toys. Additionally, the page features the RC Go soundtrack from Zuntata, the sound team behind Taito, including original music, remixes, and vocal tracks. A book of illustrations and fashion designs by artist Nochi is also presented. The page concludes with a contest offering readers the chance to win prizes like signed items, apparel, seeds, and a Beatmania car shade. This page offers a detailed status report on various highly anticipated Dreamcast titles. Featured previews include Virtua Striker 2, currently early in development, and Let's Make a Pro Soccer Club, which is receiving substantial enhancements. Resident Evil Code Veronica is listed at 40% completion, promising a compelling new storyline centered on Claire. Martian successor Nadesico. The mission, 69% done, aims to capture the anime's feel in a new game. /Matrix ad is at 70% and described as eagerly awaited, while Langrisser Millennium, a new chapter in the strategy series, is 45% complete. On the right side, Berserk Millennium Falcon Arc, chapter of the Holy Demon War, is at 30%, highlighting its dark tone and dynamic combat. Sunrise Heroes, a crossover title, sits at 48%. Revive Sosei, noted as a survival horror game, is 50% complete. Soul Calibur is nearing release at 80%, praised as the ultimate fighting game, with impressive visuals and atmosphere. Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story, 0079, Rise from the Ashes, also 80% complete, focuses on fully realized 3D environments. Lastly, the dating simulation with You I Wanna Stare at You is 100% complete and set for release, featuring expanded content. This page presents a comprehensive release calendar covering upcoming software for the Dreamcast and Sega Saturn. The main section details Dreamcast releases scheduled for July through November, plus a list of titles with undecided dates. Notable upcoming Dreamcast games include fighting titles like Street Fighter Alpha 3 and potentially SNK vs. Capcom. Strategy games like Let's Make a Pro Baseball Team and Let's Make a J.League Pro Soccer Club, and adventure/RPG titles such as Framegride, Martian successor Nadesico, The Mission, Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story, Speed Devils, /Matrix ad, and Grandia 2. The calendar also lists more unique titles like Densha de Go 2 and various visual novels or simulation games. Many highly anticipated titles, including Resident Evil Code, Veronica, Carrier, Rayman 2, and Echo the Dolphin, are listed in the new Soft Navigator section, though many still lack firm release dates, indicating they are under development. A smaller section provides a release schedule for the Sega Saturn, showing the console still has a few titles planned, including ports like Street Fighter Alpha 3 and Sonic 3D Blast, before its life cycle concludes. The page serves as a valuable resource for players to track the busy release schedule for these consoles. This page announces a major change for the magazine. It's going monthly, starting with the next issue, number 15, releasing every 30th. The focus for the upcoming issue is a large strategy guide for the highly anticipated weapon-based fighter, Soul Calibur, which is prominently featured with dynamic artwork and a screenshot. The page includes a guide on how to read the game specification tables presented in the magazine, detailing information like genre, player count, and VMU support. The specification table for Soul Calibur is shown, confirming its scheduled release date of August 5th for 5,800 yen, classified as a 12-player fighting game with VMU support. On the right, a comprehensive game index lists the titles covered in this issue, spanning Dreamcast, Sega Saturn, and even arcade games. Notable Dreamcast titles indexed include Soul Calibur, Street Fighter Alpha 3, Shenmue, its prologue chapter, Speed Devils, and others like Godzilla Generation and Fighting Integration Disc. The Sega Saturn section lists titles like With You and Derby Stallion, while the arcade section includes classic fighters like Virtua Fighter Kids and action games like Strider 2 and Metal Slug X.
Contact information for editorial inquiries and advertising is also provided. This page features the romance-adventure game, Maboroshi Tsukiyo, heading to the Dreamcast. The artwork showcases a prominent character illustration. This is a novel-format game where you play as a high school student interacting with 9 different heroines, with the story unfolding and changing based on the choices you make, offering multiple branching scenarios. Key features highlighted include the presence of 9 distinct heroines, full voice acting for characters, and character designs by Haradaya and Yasumi Tara. The game also had planned tie-ins with an internet homepage, manga, and novels. Developed by Sims Corporation, Maboroshi Tsukiyo was scheduled for release in September 1999 with a tentative price of 5,800 yen. The page also lists the voice cast for the game's characters. This page features the simulation game Espionagents from NEC Interchannel for the Dreamcast. The central artwork displays a diverse group of characters, likely the titular agents and their boss. The game casts you as the commander, known as Boss, leading a team of 7 espionagents on various industrial espionage missions received from clients. Described as a new Axis simulation game, the gameplay appears to focus on tactical control and strategy. Several small screenshots illustrate key features, such as a parallel 4-screen display allowing you to simultaneously view different aspects of the operation. The text highlights directing your subordinates to carry out specific tasks and managing real-time changing mission content. You'll control up to 4 agents at once, coordinating their actions seamlessly. This intriguing simulation title was slated for release in September 1999 with a tentative price of 5,800 yen. This page focuses on 7th Cross, F.ID for the Dreamcast, an expansion or fighting-focused version of the original 7th Cross. The game promises realized battles between characters, taking the evolutionary aspects of the first game and applying them to direct combat. It highlights the 7th Cross fighting network, enabling interaction and possibly battles with players across Japan via the internet. Visuals include a dramatic character artwork set in a desert environment and screenshots showing 3D battles between customized creatures. The page also details a campaign offering the fighting integration disc software to players, noting that the original 7th Cross game is necessary to use this expansion. There is also a promotional section for NEX, PCFX, and PC Engine characters, inviting users to visit a website for downloads and goods featuring these classic characters. This page showcases the romance-adventure game With You from NEC Interchannel. The primary visual features an evocative illustration of a girl running on a train platform towards a train, set against a backdrop of train tracks disappearing into the distance, reflecting the game's tagline, which translates to, "My feelings kept running, chasing after her, endlessly." The page also includes smaller character illustrations, providing a glimpse into the cast of this narrative-driven title. With You was scheduled for release on July 29th as a 2 CD set, priced at 7,200 yen, excluding tax.